Christina, it was effective to express interest in Carmel and to explain what about her resume was appealing. And Dr. Weber, I noticed some of your mannerisms were maybe it was like a trick you were playing, I'm not sure, but it was like you would talk about how you're not sure what's going on, but then you'd like reach across the table and like mess with her stuff. So it was, it was kind of a mixed message that you were like, oh, I don't know what's going on, but really I'm smarter than you, and you should listen to what I have to say. And it could have been perceived as demeaning in a way, but she didn't react, which I thought was fabulous. So it was a
now remember, this is coming from Casey.
Christina, it was effective to propose the option of sending Dr. Weber the meeting agendas. This allows Dr. Weber a chance to become more active in the Alpha project.
Jenna?
Dr. Weber, asking Christina to rank her triple C's from most to least important effectively unpacks her interest in an employee that she would consider for replacing your position.
Christina, you used a lot of college slang and vague terms. I can understand, definitely, honestly, great, good. So I'm trying to eliminate those from the vocabulary.
Noah?
I have something brief for both. Dr. Weber, it was very effective to ask Christina, is there anything else I can do for you at the end of the negotiation? Because it's equally important to maintain the rapport that you had built and to continue the business relationship. And Christina, you drastically improved your speaking rate as compared to your last negotiation. It was difficult last time for me to understand you because you spoke really quickly, but this one you had a very steady pace to your speaking. You spoke clearly. It was really easy to understand you.
Dr. Weber, you said at the beginning of the negotiation, what would we like to get out of this meeting today? This was vague and a little bit of slang. It would have been more effective to say, what would we like to accomplish in this meeting?
This is for both Dr. Weber and Christina regarding concessions. Dr. Weber, your concession was generating a variety of possible ways for the both of you to keep in contact regarding the Alpha Project team because you were leaving. That was an appropriate concession. And then Christina, your concession was you offered a concession by indirectly considering any option when you said my goal here is to, I think you put it, is to consider any options. You save face by doing this. Perhaps he had a better option than you did, so that was appropriate.
Dr. Weber, after Christina asked you why you'd been missing the team meetings, you thought it would be necessary to establish what the purpose of this meeting would be. But after that, it was effective that you asked Christina what her original question was, as it may have shown her that you truly cared about her question.
Brian?
Christina, it was effective during your opening statement to explain to Dr. Weber that you respect his seniority because that helps him save face since one point that your meeting today was over how busy he's been over other issues going on in the workplace.
Dr. Weber, it was ineffective to start by saying, let me ask this question, and later on you also said, let me ask this question. Next time it'd be more effective to just ask the question.
James Connolly?
Dr. Weber, it was effective for you to ask, am I missing anything in these areas? When referring to the expectations for an MIS associate, it was effective because this allowed Christina an opportunity to share with you if she had any concerns.
Okay, yeah. Dr. Weber to Christina.
Christina, I've done these negotiations. How many semesters, Mr.
This is probably your 9th or 10th.
Yeah, and I don't recall ever working with someone who was more prepared, more confident, more composed, and more enjoyable to work with. And I thought I'd hit the top of the heap last semester, and this is an even more fulfilling experience than I had last semester. And I really appreciate your preparation, and you really were very challenging to work with. I mean, I really felt like I was having to think hard, think on my feet. I was really happy with this experience, and I also appreciate the fact that I think we came up with some logical, rational, emotionally satisfying conclusions. Thank you very much.
it's nice to be given permission to provide food. 2 points for me, okay. Christina, very effective to begin by saying, I'm looking forward to the opportunity to learn from you, because as was pointed out, that's definitely a save-face way to begin, because then you can say, because you haven't been here, I've been denied that opportunity, and it still keeps it as an I message, all right? It was also very effective to talk about, since you're the first-time chair, that's your #1 priority, all right? You did not disagree or argue with Dr. Weber, though, about his differences in priority, and in some of the prior times this negotiation has been done, the expectation from person B would be, I expect this to be your first priority also, which is unrealistic, right? Because people have other things in their life. Stay away from, I'd like to ask you, just ask. It was also very effective to say, I appreciate your honesty. Some people might say candor instead of honesty, all right? Let's see, and I like the 3 C's, character, competency, and chemistry. And I would have to agree, personally, character is more important than competence, because you can have a competent person that has a lapse of moral values, and it doesn't make any difference how competent they are. Watch out for slang such as awesome. All right. Now, Dr. Weber did something interesting at the beginning of the negotiation that I made a note on, and Daniel picked up on it. She asked you a question and you didn't really answer the question. You countered with another one. However, you went back and answered the first question. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing that. It's just that you're dealing with what's on your mind at the moment, and that information probably helped you to be better prepared to answer the initial question. All right? Also very effective to acknowledge that you have a very full schedule, and then you actually explained in detail what that meant, because if you just say very full schedule, that sounds like a lot of stuff. But explaining the particulars, Christina knows enough about the company that she understands what those other functions are. All right? Watch out for come up with.
Yeah, gosh.
It's an easy one. It's an easy one for some of us to do.
You're right. This is my Achilles heel. It's the slang stuff.
Well, it's very interesting. Now, what I'd like to do.
I think you just
That was an attempt at humor. You got it. What I'm hoping you will do right now is to talk about what you've seen in terms of possible improvement in the feedback that's been provided. You were very gracious talking about Christina's preparation. I certainly concur with that. What a difference. Okay? But your comments about the feedback from the class and how it may have changed since the last time you were here.
Well, I would, the feedback was briefer and more to the point. The feedback was more confidently issued, I think. Those are the two that stand out.
All right.
And I think the former is particularly important.
Okay. And here's why I asked the question, because when we started out, and you may have noticed this in terms of the written summaries I've sent to you, during round 1, some of them were 6 or 7 pages, because there were so many different pieces of feedback. And then eventually what happens, and it really begins to gel in, I wouldn't say come together, but it becomes more consistent in round 3. A lot of the comments tend to repeat each other, which means that you're focusing on more significant matters to provide feedback on, and they are briefer, all right? And in the most recent negotiation summary I sent back to you, a lot of you got dinged because you had an okay conclusion, but no example to support the conclusion. And I dinged them and said that's a round 1 error. But none of them have hung themselves in the shower over that.
I thought you were trying to bully me.
One of the things that I want to talk about this process a little bit, and it's not to diminish anybody in any way, but both Dr. Weber and Christina consulted with me a little bit about this particular negotiation, and that's perfectly acceptable. And as I mentioned to you before, as your impartial consultant, I didn't share with Dr. Weber any of the information I discussed with Christina and vice versa. So that's available for you, so that I don't get any more of this, the information sheet was confusing and I didn't know what to do comments. All right, because you can certainly ask. In fact, people have already consulted with me about the negotiation for Friday, and that's perfectly appropriate. Now, I sent out the first information sheets for team negotiations. Damaged goods, I sent it out this morning. Damaged goods, that first team negotiation is also one that I'm doing in the graduate program that I'm teaching.
Oh my.
But the way we're doing it in the graduate program is I've